All right. Hello, my collaborative team. So we have been working together to formulate an instructional plan that we want our teachers to implement in the classroom, the way that we do things. And the goal is to boost the learning skills of our kindergartners. Because when we look back at STAR data, we learned when it came to reading scores in comparison to other subjects, the kids that were failing, a lot of them did not have the skills to read, no phonetic awareness. So we need to work on boosting these things for our kids with instructional practices. And I do want to say, coming up in January through January 10th, from January 10th to February 4th is our next MOY district assessment for M class. Okay, so one thing on our agenda for today is to discuss the quick check in our learning environments. So, colleague five, could you tell us about what did you observe in the classroom as you did our walkthrough?
Yes, in my walkthrough, I had saw evidence of instructional organization, like bins and folders, and organized shelves and closets, etc., and all that. And I also saw evidence of support materials and resources like anchor charts, student supplies, and workbooks.
Yes.
And I also saw evidence of classroom systems and structures like word signals and sounds.
Mhm.
And I also saw evidence of daily small group plan by student, anything. So, yes.
Okay, so you did observe some components that we put in our instructional plan that are taking place in the classroom. So were majority of the classes in compliance with that?
Yes.
Awesome. So one of the next things I wanted to discuss was our small group. So we had to go back and make some adjustments and changes versus whole group and small group. And some of our teachers needed support in the area of small group instruction. So colleague, or could you help us with that? What should we be putting in place to teacher expectations?
We are expecting our teachers to use M-Class interventions to design their groups. We also expect our teachers to meet up with at least each group 3 times a week and our low students daily, every day for at least 15 minutes. So our focus area that we really expect our teachers to focus on would be decoding, letter sound, and delivery.
Okay. And those are some skills that we want to target and help those kids build the foundation because we want our parents to be proud. We want our students to be proud because that is a major milestone when kids have the ability to read with good instruction. Okay, so another thing that we're going to add to our instructional plan is the monitoring aggressively tracker. So, colleague one, could you tell us about that and how that's supposed to look when teachers are utilizing this component?
Yes, so we're going to introduce it starting next week. We've already talked to the administrative team and then put it down to the instructional team. So I just want to introduce it to y'all before we put it out to teachers. So what this is a form that they are going to be able to use to formatively and summatively assess their students. So daily, they should be choosing their objective and putting down a focus in that objective, whether it's that activity or whether it's a specific skill. And then they're going to create their lab. So this could be based off of the skills or a certain question number. And then, given that maybe there's a 10-minute time limit, they say every 2 minutes, 3 minutes that they're going around and they're checking in and they're just going to check off yes or check off no in these rows.
Okay.
Just make sure they're putting down. So,
And I like that because that's immediate feedback and you can use that data in going into small group as well. All right. So we have one thing that we're going to use to everybody's on one accord to monitor our data.
Yes, so this data is just broken down by subcategory, and we've just gone more in depth with it based off of the in-class data that we're seeing.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So our next meeting, we'll be talking about our instructional processes the inventory of those. All right, thank you. All right. Hello, colleagues. For we're here today to talk about some of the instructional practices we put in place over in discussion in our instructional plan. So could you let me know what's happening in the classroom with you as the teacher in the room, the kinder teacher, because our whole goal was to boost the literacy skills for our students and improve their phonics skills, all their reading skills. So how is it going as far as the professional development went to help you in your classroom?
Professional development went really well. I rated it very high on the survey because we were provided so many resources with professional development. Like we got training with the Amplify coaches. We also got trained with ABATS where we were able to model and get positive criticism on how to teach the lessons and what we should do to kind of help our students learn the lesson and internalize it much better.
All right, awesome. So when it comes to some of your ratings, I noticed that where it says activities, approaches used to facilitate the professional development, they were effective. So which one did you like the most?
The most activity that I found appropriate or effective was definitely like the student workbooks. Those were just so fun. I mean, they're easy. The students know how to get to the pages easily. The activities are very engaging and fun, a lot of coloring. And even though they're learning, they're still having fun with the curriculum as well, with the workbooks.
And we did notice when we researched the curriculum to find the one that's best fit for our students, what I like it was day for day lessons and it has the skills component and the knowledge component. Could you tell us about the skills part of the curriculum?
The skills part works more with like the reading portion, like the decoding words and like letter sounds and all of that. So that's like the main focus, but main both focus of skills, and the knowledge is more so of the reading comprehension. So those are the two that goes hand in hand with them growing as far as like reading.
Okay, so when you go over the knowledge comprehension part, there's academic vocabulary that we need to get kids to comprehend what's going on with the words that they're reading. So what tool do you use in the classroom to boost their academic vocabulary?
My favorite tool that I use is the KWL chart. And so for that one is what do the kids know? So we talk about what do you know about this word? What are some things that for those of the kids that might know the words, they might tell me some things that they know about it. They might ask, well, I will ask them what do they want to know about certain vocabulary, and they'll ask certain questions, and then we'll learn using like the different vocabulary, like what is it, what does that word mean, and just go into the terminology, and then we'll come back to the KWL chart and write that in and fill that out so that we can recap what we learned about that word.
Okay, that's one of my favorite instructional tools as well. And I talked with some of the members on the leadership team about reintroducing Mars. I know
Prayer model,
the process model, so we could also incorporate that back into the lessons as well for some of the students, because we'll use that where they can be more independent and figuring out the meaning of the word more independently. The KWL chart is more so whole class. Right? Okay, great. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you was about coaching and ABATS. How is that working with you and your teammates on the kindergarten team?
Well, ABATing is already nervous, but one thing I can say is that our support, like they welcome us, they encourage us, they motivate us. It goes very positive because it's not just negative. It's always like, what do you do good? What are some some strengths that you have, and what are your growths? So it always starts off with our strengths first, and then we go into our weaknesses. What can we improve on within our lessons?
Awesome. So when it's ABAT, what was one of your favorite lessons that you ABATed?
One of my favorite lessons that I added was actually about the farm animals. We had a unit about farms and the different animals that are within the farm. So I actually added, and actually gave me some good resources that I can use and incorporate into the lesson, and even fun crafts to kind of help the kids be more engaged about farms and why they're so important.
I remember that unit when I did a walkthrough to your room, because that right there is the start of the unit before it goes into produce.
Mhm.
And okay, good. So I like that you're teaching that lesson and sticking to the curriculum, because sometimes what I'm finding when I go in rooms, some teachers want to skip a lesson,
Mhm.
but one reason why I like Amplify the day-to-day lesson, because it builds on the whole meaning of the unit, but it really starts basic. So I like that. Um, let's see. Another thing on the list, let me see. I noticed that you talking about modeling. So how do you look at modeling in the classroom? How is that important? What is modeling like when someone models for you, and how it relates to your students in the classroom?
Like when our academic coaches model for us, they actually come in and they actually walk us through a lesson and show us how they would teach it, whereas we're acting as if we're the students and we're learning it from them. And so when they model it for us, it makes me more comfortable as a teacher to be able to model it for my students, and that they're getting it in a smoothest way as possible, basically, because it was modeled for me first.
Yes. So yeah, that's always important, modeling, because what you don't want to assume is that your scholars know
No,
what's going on, or automatically know what the curriculum is about, because everybody's background is different. Some kids have the prior knowledge that they can share and discuss in class, and some kids need that knowledge built upon in the classroom.
Mhm.
But modeling how you want to do something, for example, working with exit tickets and new nouns. You have to model how does that get done to the point where it becomes fluent. You get put it in front of the kid, the template,
Mhm.
and they know it. So the next thing I want to talk about was your skills component of Amplify. It's two threads to the Amplify curriculum.
Mhm.
So when it comes to the skills workbook, how are the activities going in the activity book?
The activities they're going very well. It's an easy format for our students to learn. Like with skills, they do a lot of writing. So we learn a letter and it's a lot of repetition. And that's one thing that I really like about the skills, is that it's for repetition, it's repeating, so that it sticks better for our students as
Okay.
far as that.
All right. So next on our agenda to discuss what needs improvement. What are some things that need improvement?
I believe what needs improvement for me would be more so of time management. Um, I just think I need to use more of my timer and just keep constantly moving and keep bell to bell instruction and just constantly keep moving. Another thing that I would say needs improvement is honestly my small group routines and procedures. I realize that it's kind of difficult to do small group when you don't have a system in place and a routine that the students know that they can follow. So that is something that I definitely can work on and improve in.
All right. Well, it sounds like that you're using everything possible that we put into our instructional plan within the classroom. And it's working well. So when it comes to improving your self-reflection on, that's what we can help you with. And we're going to talk about that in our next meeting on small group instruction. So in our next PLC meeting, it has some things that you can do to help you make everything flow right and tweak it to meet the needs of your students. Okay. So anything else? Oh, no. All right. Well, thank you, Kylie, for sharing and giving your input on the instructional plan and how they work in the classroom.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.